Just2Trade Academy. Greetings, dear traders. Another MetaTrader 5 tutorial. In this lesson, we'll look at charts and their settings. First, we'll familiarize ourselves with the elements. At the bottom is the time scale. On the right is the price scale, and in the middle is the chart itself. Charts can come in several types: bars, candlesticks, and line charts. Candlesticks are the most informative, so let's choose them. Let's move on to personalizing this chart. To do this, right-click on it. Go to the Properties section and configure the settings here. The Common tab. We've already selected the chart type. We'll cover the chart shift and auto-scroll later. There's nothing else of interest on this tab. Show. Here you can enable or disable various elements on the chart. For example, we don't need tick volumes right now. The last tab is Color Schemes. There are 4 preset schemes: yellow on black, green on black, black on white, and color on white. Select black on white. You can also change any element as desired: background, text, grid, bars, and so on. We'll leave the default settings and click OK. After customizing the chart, we can save it as a template to apply to other charts. To do this, go to the Charts section, then Templates. Then Save Template. Then give it a name. Save. Now, when we open other charts, they open with the default settings. But we can apply templates. Select Charts, then Templates, and choose ours. We can do this with any chart. Now we'll look at the chart toolbar. The Zoom In button, Zoom Out button, Tile Charts. If we have multiple charts, we can switch between them in full screen mode, or we can analyze them simultaneously by clicking this button and seeing the results. A different template can be applied to each chart. Let's continue working with a single chart. An important button is Auto Scroll. If we need to view data from previous periods, we won't be able to do so with Auto Scroll enabled. This is because, with each new price received for each tick, our chart will rewind to the beginning, to the last candlestick. If you disable Auto Scroll, you can work with the chart in any time frame. The next button is Shift End of the chart from right border. If this feature is disabled, the chart is plotted flush with the price scale. Click it. Now we have free space to draw some graphical elements. Let's say, for graphical analysis, let's use the Channels tool. This way, we can track current price movement within the channel and forecast future movements, as well as see if the price will break the channel boundaries, indicating a possible trend reversal. Another tool is vertical lines linked to time. You can also draw horizontal lines linked to price. We can modify any graphic element on the chart. To do this, right-click on it and go to the Properties section. You can change the color, type, and thickness of the line. In the next tab, you can manually set the values and time frames for displaying this line. Click OK. If we need to delete an element, right-click on it and click Delete. If we need to delete a group of elements or elements that are not visible in the current time period, go to the Objects List section and delete the desired elements one by one. The next thing we'll look at is adding indicators. To do this, go to the Insert section, then Indicators. There are 2 types of indicators. There are those that are overlaid on the chart. Let's say this is parabolic. Select it, and in the window that opens, you'll see settings you can change. Confirm. So, we have that indicator. There are also indicators, such as volumes, that are displayed independently in a separate window. We can change the window height. And if we need to delete an indicator, right-click on it, then Delete Indicator. Or, on the chart, go to the Indicator List section and delete them manually. The last thing I'd like to cover in this lesson is the calendar. The calendar displays news from various countries that can influence the price movements of certain instruments. This has the greatest impact on currency pairs. We can see them all here. By right-clicking, we can sort and remove unnecessary information, select the instruments we're interested in, and from which countries. And most importantly, priority. Let's limit the news to high and medium priority. If we're interested in news on a specific currency, we can see how the price of that instrument changed during the news release. We can also set a reminder for future news. To do this, we select a news item that will be released at a specific time and drag it onto the chart. So, we now have a reminder for this news release.